Welcome back to Views and Vibes. We're sitting here with Alison Crockett, who did a performance for us earlier, and she'll do another one for us later. But right now, we're just having a conversation about some of her work. And first, we talked about Becoming a Woman, and then you did a remix album for the most part, right?
Yeah.
With the return of Diva Blue. Who is Diva Blue? And
Diva Blue was created by King Britt.
Okay.
As you know, he had these characters in his show, and frankly, when I was with us three, what artists do is when they want to do something else, but they don't want their contract to be broken, they go on ahead and they make a moniker. So I used that moniker.
Okay.
And Diva Blue allowed me to reach back into my dance roots. And so I pulled out a lot of different producers, you know, when I did it with Wawa 45. And so we oh goodness, Nathan Haynes and gosh, names escape me right now. But we did a lot of different interesting remixes, Tim Landslide, a lot of people out of London, because that was my core audience at the time.
Right, right. Well, the song that we just came back in with, You Are, the first time I heard that was on a compilations album, Midnight Soul, which I think was London-based. And You Are, that song was actually remixed too, had more of a dance feel to it. And that's actually how I discovered you. I mean, it was just, after that, I'm like, well, I love that. And so I went back, did my research, and found your other album. But after you finished that piece, you moved on and did Bear. Let's talk about Bear a little bit. What's the whole concept behind that?
Well, Bear was me kind of being myself. I had been doing all this stuff with all this different production. And so we wanted to just sit down and just me play.
It's more of an acoustic album.
Yeah, it's an acoustic record. I just wanted to play and sing songs that had lots of different chord changes and pretty singing, and I just wanted to just have fun, and that's kind of what we did.
Okay, and that was much different than on Becoming a Woman. You know, you did take all the production out, you were really stripped bare, and it was just you really in the keyboard and some other instruments in there at certain parts. How was it feel for you, you know, being in the studio producing that compared to the first album?
Well, the first album was in ghetto studio.
But it didn't sound like it.
No,
it wasn't bootleg at all.
No, so I mean, the second one was in a real studio with a really beautiful grand piano out in Jersey, and you know, and it was we really worked hard on the sound, and I worked really on the arrangements, being able, because I had to play it, so there's a lot more practice involved, a lot more soul searching for different things. You know, I had aged a little bit, and whereas On Becoming a Woman was about becoming a woman, a lot of times you don't. As a young person, you don't feel like you're a woman until you pay a whole lot of bills or something.
Right.
You know, and so with On Becoming a Woman, I figured that out. And Bear was just me talking about, you know, being that woman, living in that life.
Right, right. And now, here you are creating a whole nother album.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to talk to you about the creative process, because I know as a writer, people come to me all the time and say, well, how do I write? You know, how do I do it? I'm like, it's different for everyone. I can tell you some places to start, but you have to figure that out on your own. For you, right now, on the album you're working on, how do you sit down and just get started?
Well, the first thing that I try to do is just sit and, you know, think about what it is that I want to do.
Is it inspiration? Is there something in the room that, you know, triggers you?
It depends. Like, I'm an assignment.
Are you trying to get away from the kids?
I'm an assignment person.
Okay.
So, like, I'm a person that says, okay, I need this. Okay, let's see what happens. And I'll either just sit at the piano and start playing, or I will be, I've been on the road so much that I learned how to write all the chords and do everything in my head.
Get out of here.
So I learned how to do that. I write in the car. You Are was written in the car.
Really?
Yes, it was written in the car.
Yeah, I saw one of your clips on your blog too, where you're actually singing and writing. You're trying to come up with a beat in the car, right?
That happens a lot. That happens a lot.
So that's the writing process for me. A lot of times happens on long trips. You know, it's just you just have that piece of being on the road, and you can just think, and it just comes out. What you're working on now, what are you looking for that's different than what you've done before?
Well, this record is a masterpiece.
A masterpiece.
We've made a decision that, you know, music is going through such shifts and changes.
Very nice.
So we might as well just have a bleep load of fun. You know?
Right.
We just might. I went into the studio with a bunch of musicians that I really love. I sang some songs that some songs that I hadn't sung in a while, and I kind of pimped them out, and really,
Really, okay.
And then I wrote some songs that talked about, like on my blog on Miss Diva Blue at .blogspot.com. One of the songs is on there, Gentrification. I talked about the evolution of my neighborhood in New York and what I saw in DC, and all the kinds of things that you deal with. So this record it's really political in nature. It's about what I see around me, about what's been going on. We've just been going through so much stuff.
Yeah.
And
your blog is funny too. You have a lot of good commentary on there. You have a lot of things to say, don't you?
I'm a political junkie.
And a lot of that's coming out in your music now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, Chris Matthews is my baby father. And, I watch all the Sunday morning news shows,
right.
and my brother and I talk
Tim
about
Russell.
this. I really do.
Yeah,
I was really upset by that.
Yeah.
And but my brother and I talk about this stuff, for hours, and I took pictures in front of the television set with Obama when he,
Really?
when I voted, we took pictures.
Right.
Nice. We did the whole
Capture
thing.
that history, right?
And so as well as I work with kids a lot in various stages of their lives, from young adults all the way down to very young kids. And I've worked with kids for a very long time. And you get thoughts about how you want the world to be, and as a parent, you want your world to be something nice for your
right.
children to be a part of, and the frustration that you feel, or at least that I felt in living and trying to make things work, and seeing inequalities and seeing how you want to live.
Right.
So the record kind of just is starting to come out in that.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, I am looking forward to this new album. Matter of fact, I'm looking forward to your next performance so I can hear another new song for you. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Alison's going to perform for us from her new album that will be coming out soon. So
Mommy was a depression.
Sit back and relax. We'll be right back.
You came along and went with me on a trip exploring. There was no need